This evening, since the referendum, journalists from all over the world have been descending on one particular town in Lincolnshire. They all want to see the place where 1 in 8 people is an East European migrant and 3 out of 4 people voted to leave the EU, the highest pro-Brexit vote in the country. But Peter Hitchens, columnist for the Mail on Sunday, was actually in Boston 5 years ago. At the time, he caused controversy when he identified what he called a quiet, seething resentment in the town. Well, after the vote, we asked Peter to return and find out how people are feeling now.
Who'd have thought sleepy Boston would register the strongest anti-EU vote in the country? I would. I visited this handsome old town 5 years ago for the Mail on Sunday and found it transformed by mass migration from Eastern Europe, which nobody had asked for or expected. Some people were annoyed when I pointed this out, but in their quiet English way, people were upset, and now they've taken the chance to show it.
But has anything changed as a result? Is anybody happier? Is anything really better?
The ferment following my newspaper article drew some people into politics. Since I last met Bob, he's become a councillor.
Boston was over 75% for leaving, and it's because people are absolutely sick to death of this uncontrolled immigration and lack of control of our borders and free movement of people.
But nothing has happened since the vote.
No, nothing's happened, and the frustration is starting to bubble. You have literally, in this town, thousands and thousands of Eastern Europeans coming in. It's far too many in too short a time, and it's completely unbalanced the whole social structure.
Some of the Poles and Lithuanians I spoke to 5 years ago were intrigued that the British wouldn't do the jobs they'd taken. At least 10,000 migrants were in Boston at the last census, and most of them are still working hard and long on Lincolnshire's thriving farms.
Why can't you get British people to do the work that needs to be done on your farm?
Anyone can come and do this work. You know, the work is available. It's organised by licensed agencies. Anyone can apply. In this area in Lincolnshire, there isn't huge unemployment locally. People are finding work doing other things.
And you used to have people coming over from Sheffield, which
we
is
did.
Exactly around the corner.
Yeah, that was a direct impact of Sheffield steel industry collapsing, and those people at the time travelled to Lincolnshire to get the work, and they hit retirement and then they stopped coming, and coincidentally in 2004 the easement of the borders within Europe allowed us to access labour from abroad.
A quarter of the UK's vegetables are produced in Lincolnshire. Among many other crops, Julian grows celeriac for the country's biggest supermarkets.
We could not operate as a business without migrant labour. Absolutely. For us, I think we'd have to give up vegetable production almost overnight and revert back to basic arable farming.
Well, would that destroy you?
We'd survive. We'd survive as farmers, but it wouldn't be good news for our full-time staff, and it's something that I hope will never happen.
All these new workers need homes. For many, that used to mean caravan parks and grim, multi-occupied old houses like this one.
Gosh.
Yeah.
How many people living in a room like this?
There could be up to 3, sometimes 4.
4 people in a room of this size?
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously...
So in a house of this size, perhaps
15, 20 people, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the conditions...
Surely that still goes on, doesn't it? It's not stopped.
I've got to say, really, it's very rare.
Outside investors have spotted a market. Dismal places of this sort will be smartened up and their rents sharply raised.
So what are you paying now if you come here from Poland or Lithuania?
It's actually very reasonable. It's £80 for a single room with all their, that's with all their bills. £80 a week.
Right.
I think Boston's a great place. I really like the town, and I think it's a vibrant place, and it's a lot better for the influx.
You're Bostonian yourself?
I'm Bostonian. I've lived here all my life, and it was a very quiet, sleepy town. You're right, but it's vibrant now. We've got all the shops.
Yeah, but vibrant's one of those words people use, isn't it?
Well,
some people don't want to be vibrant.
Absolutely, and I'm not saying we haven't got our we've got our problems. We have got problems like most cities. It is a lot to get to doctor. You have to wait to get some basic services. Now they are stretched in Boston, but like housing, it's improving, and I think Boston it has got a bright future.
But bright for whom? Money isn't everything. People have to get on with each other. Not easy with such different cultures. Here on West Street, they call it East Street, it feels as if two nations are living side by side, not speaking much. On an evening stroll, the town is happy and peaceful, despite stories of drunkenness and violence. What is the real mood? Not so good, according to Eliza, one of a group of young workers from Romania.
We are coming here to make money and to make a life better for us. Yeah.
And how do people treat you?
People, English people don't treat us very good.
Why not?
In my factory, after that vote with European Union, they are coming in my office and they told me, you have to go home, you and all your friends go in your country.
These people you know?
Yes, English people.
And what did you say to them?
I couldn't say anything because we are more respectful maybe. I treat them with respect, but they don't treat me as well.
When things go wrong, the media take an interest. It's a sad fact. But it seems some people in the town blame me, not the government, for Boston's problems.
I know what we have done over the last 10 years has improved the town, without doubt. And yet the naysayers, the talk-downers, have really ruined a lot of our reputation.
So doesn't it strike you that the publicity that came to Boston as a result of people such as me exposing the problems of mass migration actually did Boston a lot of good, which wouldn't otherwise have come about?
I think you're right to a certain extent there. But the negativity that Boston has had in Britain has, I think, overwhelmed a lot of the people here who have become disillusioned with their town, where actually it is a thriving, vibrant town.
This part of England has always been very close to the continent in many ways, without necessarily being governed from the continent, which is a different thing.
Exactly.
We need to separate these things.
Well, we do, but were we governed? I might argue with you about that.
Well, you could argue with me, but you'd lose.
Of course I would.
If there's a solution, I don't know what it is. Somehow good people will, yet again, try to clear up the mess the politicians made. But I'm certain it was better to discuss it and publicise it than to pretend it wasn't happening.
But if we could only learn from Boston's problems that people like being asked and consulted before their lives had changed completely, we might govern this country a little better than we do.